I was born premature. My father killed himself in jail, supposedly choked and murdered my mother. He actually ended up shooting me when I was 17. My brother started getting into drugs, alcohol, crime. So life was definitely not easy. My name's Titus, and I'm 27 years old. I live in Florida, United States. So I was 11 months old, so I don't remember anything of my biological parents. My father, he abused drugs at a very early age. He started abusing drugs at 9. He had a lot of mental issues. My father ended up doing was getting really high and really drunk one night and going over to my mother's house and knocking on her door, demanding to see my brother and I. At this time, my mother had already had multiple court-ordered restraints against the man. He was violent, he was a drug addict, and they had already gotten a divorce. However, John, my father, did not like this. So he went over to my mother, Patricia's house, knocked on the door, and demanded to see the children. They got into a big argument, and my father forced his way into the home, at which point he told my brother, Tyler, who was 2.5, to go to the room. And at which point he went to the room, but he peeked his head out so he could watch everything. And John then supposedly choked and then murdered my mother. My father killed himself in jail a couple months afterwards. I was probably in foster care maybe 3 months, so I was probably at that time 1 year and 2 months old. So I really don't remember any of that time. And then when we moved to Florida, things changed. My brother started getting into drugs, alcohol, crime, and I kind of followed in his lead. 12 years old all the way till I'd say about 21. That drug and alcohol addiction and spiral with crime just never ended. So life was definitely not easy. My uncle, who also adopted me, was an alcoholic. Unfortunately, they divorced, and my aunt remarried to my stepdad. And my stepdad had a lot of drug and alcohol issues as well. So this is the third dad with drug and alcohol issues. And he actually ended up shooting me by accident when I was 17. It was pretty traumatizing. And then at 21, he got into an accident where he was drunk driving and killed 2 people. Then he went into jail and died. My family is very difficult to deal with. So I've been in therapy most of my life, and it works out pretty well, honestly. It just helps. It's kind of like a coping mechanism for me. It goes to show that domestic violence is truly out there. When it comes to relationships and marriage problems, there was a lot of opinions on this story. My father should have been allowed to see his children. The mother was right for protecting her children from the father because he was a drug addict. There's a lot of people out there that have gone through similar, if not more traumatic things. And I just thought it was time to share a little bit about my story and my suffering and my own traumatic life, because I'm still here, I'm still breathing, I'm still doing fine. And I kind of wanted to show to other people that have been through worse or who have been through something similar. The message that I have for people going through similar troubles would be: find your reason to keep going, find a hobby, find something to keep your mind occupied. When you go through traumatic things, understand that's life, and those things can happen to anybody, and they do happen to just about anybody. And if it happened to you, then just try to be strong and try to power through it, because that's all I've ever done through life. Be strong, be happy, but I don't want to be cliche. Get through every day as best as you can. You know, when you feel down, get help, and never stop trying. Never give up on yourself.